Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Hannah Wallace, and today we're in Amsterdam to meet with Snoek from Acapture Payvision, and we're going to be talking about the impact of PSD2 on the splitting of payments across third parties, currencies and countries. John, thank you for having us.
Thanks, Hannah. It's good to be here.
How will the arrival of PSD2 disrupt the marketplace, and what sort of opportunities can third parties expect to see?
Yeah, so when you look at disruptions and opportunities of new legislation, you have to look at the guiding principles. And the way we assess it, it's first and foremost consumer protection, consumer choice and consumer convenience. Now, in order to do that, you need to get more competition and harmonization. So what that brings is that parties, fintech parties like ours, get access to market and information which we didn't have before. So that will disrupt banks, but everyone in the payments landscape. And I think that's very interesting to see how innovation will bring new services.
Okay, and what are the consequences of this for the market, and what options are there around PSD2?
Yeah, so there's a whole slew of options. The ones that are mentioned most and in our industry are most talked about is the strong customer authentication. Now, the initial draft by the EU was very strict, inhibiting innovation, but more importantly inhibiting business for retailers. So with the new setup, it provides more room for innovation for companies like ours. So we're working on a risk-based machine learning approach that can optimize the conversion while keeping fraud and risk in check. So a second option we see is with regards to access to account. I mean, you can fill a whole day talking about it, and people actually do. But what's important from a retailer's perspective, payment companies always need to assess the risk of getting a retailer on board. So with information from the access to account, we don't have to bother them with a whole bunch of questions, and also with the ongoing monitoring. So in that respect, it provides a better customer experience. A third is the commercial agent exemption in PSD1 that was not clearly defined, so each member state had their own policy around it. In PSD2 that will be a lot more harmonized and will provide more clarity to all the actors in the payment landscape.
Finally, under the regulation, payments can be split into payouts to multiple third parties. Can you give me some background on this?
So this relates to the commercial agent exemption I just talked about. So under PSD2, for companies that hold third-party funds, like marketplaces, crowdsourcing, shared economy, they have to be licensed in order to control those funds. So essentially they have two options. One, they get their own payment institution license, but the downside of that, it distracts them from their core business. So they need to hire staff for software development, for risk and compliance, there are costs of licensing involved, and audits by regulators, so all those things that distracts them. The second option for those companies is to work with a company that has a payment institution license, like Acapture. We at Acapture developed SlicePay to solve that problem for them in a PSD compliant way. Essentially, we collect the funds of the buyers, hold that into our accounts, and pay that out to third parties at the right time in the right currency. So paying it out to insurance companies, sellers, logistics companies, and the commission of the marketplace itself. So next to being PSD compliant, it also helps them with operational excellence because our solution is really easy to implement. It's API driven, giving them great control without actually touching the funds. So next to the compliancy aspect, SlicePay offers a very cost-effective way of handling the payment flow in that scenario. There's a minimum investment in software, it's a short time to market, and there are no maintenance costs. Finally, it also saves money in multi-currency situations where you save on banking costs. So all in all, SlicePay saves clients headaches of maintaining a compliant solution, the technology around it, and so they can focus on increasing their business and have happy customers.
Fantastic. Well, John, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Okay, it was my pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you for watching.